Welcome back, folks. Today we are doing 9mm versus 45. For whatever reason, these comparison videos are by far some of my most popular videos. It seems to get a lot of attention. I assume it's because it's hitting the search algorithms. I don't know. I just not gonna buck the trend. It seems to be popular. So, 9mm versus 45. We've done rifles. Now we're doing some pistol stuff. And this one has been a debate basically since the military adopted 9mm, probably before. And to me, the argument isn't which caliber is more effective. The argument is which is the better one for you, and possibly which is the better one for you in a particular situation. Because there's no question. I mean, if you're looking at these two or you're comparing them in person, 45 is more powerful than 9mm. It isn't up for debate. This is basic math. Now, there are some wussy 45s and powerful 9mm. However, if you're comparing apples to apples in terms of defensive ammo, 45 is more powerful. It is a better performing round for general self-defense in terms of the actual math, the impact, what does the bullet do if you hit the same spot. However, that's only part of the argument. The other part of the argument is, did you hit? Can you shoot 45 as well as you can shoot 9? Can you get multiple rounds on target quickly in 45 versus 9? Because a lot of people can't shoot 45 very fast. You get your first shot, and if you practice properly, you'll get that first shot on target, but 45 may take longer to get back on target. How many rounds can you carry? In the same amount of space, you're going to get more 9mm, obviously. Weight, smaller hands, because notice this is taller. This means that this width, okay, can't be as narrow on a 45. One of my biggest complaints about the larger Glocks, the 45 caliber Glocks, is that the grip doesn't fit me. Why? Because it's for a 45 and the grip got thicker. The whole thing just got bulkier. Smaller hands. Now, neither of these are large handguns. The grip is relatively compact. They are comfortable for people with smaller than average hands. If you have larger hands, they're both still comfy. This one can be a little short, but it's not bad. But a full-size 1911 is still perfectly shootable by somebody with a smaller than average hand. Your shot times, because the recoil might be a little slower between shots, but the grip itself is still comfortable. A 9mm in a double stack, that might not be the case. A larger grip might be an issue. Certainly a double stack 45 is going to be an issue for most people with smaller hands. Now, smaller hands could still be men. It doesn't have to be women. It doesn't have to be younger people. I have very average sized hands. I particularly am not a large-handed person. I don't like double stack 45s. I've already said that. So it's an issue. You have to consider it's one of the reasons a lot of the military and police departments have gone to 9mm rather than 45. They can get enough ammunition in there, they can do a double stack system, but they can still keep it small enough that they don't have 2 handguns or 3 handguns for everybody in the force to use it. Commonality is a big thing, particularly if you're trying to share magazines, if you're trying to share maintenance. It makes life a lot easier. So let's go back to the actual ammo itself. We're going to forget about the actual handguns. Okay. We're just talking the ammo. Now, a lot of people think that 9mm is faster. You're going to get that hydrostatic shock effect, and it's going to have a bigger temporary wound cavity and shut them down. Bullshit. Okay? There are a lot of rifle calibers with way more power, way more speed than 9mm. That it's just proven it doesn't work. You need a lot of speed, a lot of power to have that work. That is something that requires a much faster round. 2 times, even 3 times the velocity you're getting with this. Now, does that mean it doesn't matter? No. It means you have different bullet design in the 9mm versus the 45. The 45 caliber bullet expands at a much slower velocity, dumps energy much more rapidly because you're starting out at a larger diameter. The 9mm has to expand very rapidly because it's going to be in the target for less time. It might be going 50% or even 75% faster than the 45. A lot of 45s are subsonic, just by nature of the round. Hydrostatic shock is not in it. Temporary wound cavity on most handguns, not a huge factor. And if you're going to argue about it, it goes to the 45. However, then you get into, do you hit on multiple shots? Because one shot on a handgun is, don't get me wrong, first shot stops count for a lot. One shot stops count for a lot. But if your goal was to stop the threat as rapidly as possible, you're going to want multiple rounds on target. 2, 3 shots on target. 9mm is easier to do that with. I mean, even for somebody like me who practices a lot, I've been shooting 45 for decades, it's still easier on 9mm. It just is. But if you're going to get one hit, if you're going for that first round maximum effect hit, 45. If you're a police officer who may have to worry about multiple suspects, a ongoing issue with, you're firing a few times, you're trying to keep somebody's head down while another officer moves around. If you're talking combat, as opposed to a one-on-one altercation that is quickly resolved one way or the other, 9mm gives you more ammo. You can shoot more times. And if you miss a few, it's less of a loss in your total amount of power than 45. Hopefully you don't miss, but reality says people miss. Now again, we're saying apples to apples here. If you do bad ammo in one of these, you skew the whole thing. So particularly if you're the military and you're shooting ball ammo, FMJs, the 9mm is way less effective. The military makes a choice. Handguns are so low on their priority list in terms of stopping power that I'm pretty sure they just didn't care. In the years past, when it was a higher priority, that's why they adopted 45. So, different strokes for different folks, right? 45 has significantly more recoil. It is a slower, steady push versus a sharper 9mm recoil impulse, but it still moves the gun more. None of these are going to have knockdown power, like in the movies. You're not knocking somebody over with this. I don't care whether it's 45, 9mm, 44 Magnum. It doesn't matter. If you can fire it out of a handgun with one hand and you don't get knocked over, if it doesn't go flying up out of your hands, it's not going to knock the other person over. Now, you start getting into 500 Smith & Wesson Magnums, some of the other really big stuff where literally in a large frame heavy revolver it still is almost taking it out of your hands. Okay, now if you hit the right spot, if it hits a bunch of bone, you could knock somebody off their feet. They're not going to go flying backwards, but you can impart enough energy that it knocks them off balance regardless of the damage it's doing otherwise. Just in terms of the physics of it. But still, this is low percentage odds, and you're talking the extremes of handgun calibers. Handguns rely on hitting important things. They rely on hitting the nervous system, the heart, the lungs. They rely on hitting things that are critical to the target in order to provide rapid stops. If you are trying to end a fight rapidly, more rounds on target in the right place is vital, which is why I've mostly gone to carrying 9mm, because my expectation is that I'm going to shoot several times per target. So if there's multiple targets, I'm going to shoot several times, several times, several times. I'm not going to go bang, bang, bang. I'm going to go bang, 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 bang. Okay? Because I might miss one. I might miss anything important, even if I hit the target with the first shot. 45, 8-round magazine. So I've got 9 rounds in the gun. Now I live in a banned state. I live in Connecticut. So I can only have 10 rounds in my magazine. So still only 11 rounds of 9mm. If you live somewhere normal, you might have a 15-round magazine, 16 rounds in the gun. Okay, you're now almost double what I've got in 45. Okay, that adds up. You add a spare magazine, now it's a big difference. You've got a lot more ammo. So, shot placement and potentially the number of rounds on target is more important to resolving the fight quickly, ending that threat quickly, than the individual stopping power, the individual energy of each round. Because let's be honest here, these both suck. Okay, if you're comparing these to even a 5.56 or 300 Blackout or a 6.5 Grendel, these are all horrible. Handgun rounds are useless in that comparison. They are so far down the scale that it's almost not even worth discussing. It's like comparing 22 to one of these. You're in different areas of the chart. So really, you've got to hit a couple times to have any confidence. I mean, sure, that first shot might do it, but you're way better off with a couple on target. Couple shots center mass. There's a reason the drill is usually 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Because handgun rounds are not reliable in terms of stopping power. It doesn't matter what they are. So the argument over which of these has more power, has more stopping power, really isn't a good argument. The argument is more, which of these lets me get more energy total on target quickly. Anyway, showing off the merch one more time. Hopefully that showed. Anyway, take care. Have fun. Stay safe, y'all. Please subscribe. Please hit like. Please comment. If you want to argue about anything that I'm saying, argue the facts, not the opinions. You feel free to present your opinion, but don't tell me I'm an idiot or I'm wrong or that's bullshit when you're talking about my opinion. I've thrown out both sides on this in terms of, the arguments, and there's no right or wrong choice. Both of these work. Both of these have their proponents and opponents. Both of them have the advantages and disadvantages. I don't think either one's going away. I don't think either one is a bad choice. I think they each have their place in the equation. Take care, have fun, stay safe, y'all. Keep shooting. Say hi. Oof. Oof. Oof.